his corruptive influence in my book, Nigeria and its Criminal Justice System. And what he has done is exactly what he has always done in hiding, but he has done it this time again. It came to my knowledge that there is a charge that had been fraudulently preferred against me before a court in Ekiti State at the instance of Chief Afe Babalola. This charge had been fraudulently preferred, hidden from view, and the court had purportedly demanded my presence multiple times, and I had failed to appear before this court. And this court had then proceeded to issue a bench warrant for my arrest. This is classic Afe Babalola. I detailed his corruptive influence in my book, Nigeria and its Criminal Justice System. And what he has done is exactly what he has always done in hiding, but he has done it this time again. And the calculations were that I would have been picked up, taken before this judge who must have either been compromised or misled in Ekiti. And I would have been remanded in prison custody for being somebody who was meant to face trial and who had refused to bring himself to court. I am reliably informed that social media influencers had been paid to spin these narratives after my arrest. Human rights activists have been positioned to start speaking after my arrest, including one Agbaya. High offices in this country have been compromised in pursuit of my person. High offices, from the Inspector General's office, because the police have been subverted. The Attorney General of the Federation needs to examine himself because his office has been somehow linked to this as well. I do not know if the presidency is directly involved in this, and I will not make frivolous charges. But high offices have been subverted in pursuit of a criminal purpose. I have committed no crime, done nothing wrong. If I have committed any wrong for which the state requires my attendance in a court or at the police station, they know exactly where I live. I will live only once, but I will not live cowering to any man. Let us be clear. If and when I have a charge to answer before a court, you all know where I live. I'm not hiding, and I'm not running away from anybody. Let us be very clear about that. I will never run away from Nigeria. We all have to pretend that we are in a democracy, and we have to pretend that we are citizens, and we have to pretend that we are a country ruled by law. And by all means, you will pretend that we are. I have done nothing. And if I have a charge that should be preferred against me, bring it on. I'm happy to come to court to have my day. If there is a crime, there must be justice, not only for the person who is aggrieved. There must be justice for the accused. And there must also be justice for the system. This is not how to build a rule-based system, where the system itself becomes so criminal that policemen were engaged in criminality.
The recent arrest of Dele Farotimi, a human rights lawyer, a political social analyst, and advocate of good governance in Nigeria, is one that is set to spark huge protests across the country and in the world. Dele Farotimi, who was abducted in his home in Lagos by men of the Nigerian police force from Ekiti State, has exposed the recent rot in the nation's judicial system. Dele Farotimi is a vocal critic of judicial corruption, but he has found himself at the center of a case that shows the very challenge he has long been crying about. His arrest has raised critical questions about due process, about the abuse of power, about the manipulation of state institutions for personal gain. In response to Farotimi's arrest, Nigerians all over the world are mobilizing for mass protests on December 10th. Demonstrations have been planned in 3 major cities, Lagos, Abuja, and Ekiti. In Lagos State, the protesters plan to protest at the key locations, including the Federal Ministry of Justice. Holding a protest at the Federal Ministry of Justice is to show the displeasure at how the justice system has been compromised in Nigeria. And again, this is the same city where Dele Farotimi was arrested. This protest in Lagos is going to draw attention to the abuse of procedures and draw accountability from law enforcement agencies. The Abuja protest is set to focus on the federal government to highlight the need for the systemic reforms in the judicial system. The protest in Abuja is going to be systemic because Abuja is a seat of power and it houses majority of government institutions. This will help to draw the attention of the government to the rot in the judiciary. Of course, we know that the government do not care, but we need to do something. We need to keep pushing until we bring the government to their knees. They need to do the right thing about the corruption in the judiciary. Another protest will also take place in Ekiti State. This is where Farotimi is currently being detained. The men of the Nigerian police force, they came to Lagos State, abducted Farotimi and took him to Ekiti State. Protest in Ekiti State is important because they need to demand explanation from the authorities why they need to go to Lagos State to arrest someone and bring the person to Ekiti State. Afe Babalola is also from Ekiti State and this is where his university is. So the protest in Ekiti State is going to mount a huge pressure on Afe Babalola as well. Again, they also plan to protest in London. Many people will be asking, why are they protesting in London? What is the relationship between what happened in Nigeria and London? The protest in London is going to be very, very significant because it's going to draw international attention. Now they are going to be protesting at King's College, London. This is very, very significant because Afe Babalola donated 10 million naira to the institution for a school to be built in his name in King's College. Protest at King's College is going to expose the real personality of Afe Babalola. The protesters intend to tell the people at King's College that the person that donated 10 million naira to you is an abuser of human rights. Donating 10 million pounds to King's College in London is a way of building his image and reputation internationally. Going there to protest is really going to affect his name and reputation, and this is what Afe Babalola will not want to happen. And of course, the protest is going to draw international attention to the case. They want to leverage the global pressure to demand for justice and the immediate release of Dele Farotimi. Farotimi was arrested by Afe Babalola for writing a book, Nigeria and its Criminal Justice System. Dele Farotimi noted in that book that Afe Babalola is one of the persons that corrupted the Nigerian judiciary. In his response, Afe Babalola, who is a senior advocate of Nigeria, used the Nigerian police to abduct Dele Farotimi and incarcerate him in a Nigerian prison. He was trying to protect his name and reputation. It is alleged that the federal government shut down the Nigerian site that was selling the book written by Dele Farotimi. With all the actions and controversies following the arrest of Dele Farotimi, Nigerians are eager to know what is contained in that book that was written by Dele Farotimi. This has made the book to become a bestseller on Amazon. The reputation Afe Babalola was trying to protect and the information he was trying to subdue with his rascality has now become an open secret, as Nigerians and those at the international community are eager to know what is contained in that book. This has led to massive ordering of that book on Amazon, thereby making it to become a bestseller. The success of that book, which provides a detailed account of corruption, abuse of power, and systemic failures within Nigerian system, underscores the public hunger for truth and accountability. Dele Farotimi is not the only human rights activist that have been arrested in this country. So many human rights activists have been arrested in this country without this wide outrage. The outrage surrounding his arrest is the illegality and the blatant breach of protocol. The police from Ekiti State went to Lagos State and arrested someone without informing the police in Lagos State. Under Nigerian law, when a police from another state intend to make an arrest in another jurisdiction, they must notify and collaborate with the local police command in that state. This procedure ensures transparency and guides against misuse of police powers. The police in Ekiti State knew that they were going for an illegal arrest. That was the reason why they ignored every laid down rules and regulations. The Lagos State Police Command was neither informed nor involved in the operation, but instead they went to Farotimi's apartment in Lagos State, abused his staff, abducted him, drove him on the road to Ekiti State for 7 hours. Bypassing legal procedures is what is raising serious concern about the legitimacy of his arrest. This kind of cross-jurisdictional arrest conducted without proper procedure sets a dangerous precedent. It undermines the citizen trust in law enforcement agency. Of course, for a long time, Nigerians do not trust their law enforcement agencies. It shows that powerful individuals can manipulate the Nigerian police force to settle personal scores. Again, the speed at which Farotimi was arraigned and remanded in prison only deepens this suspicion. It points to a premeditated plan to silence a prominent voice and critic using the state machinery. We all know that Dele Farotimi is a huge critic to the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, not just Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, but Nigeria as a whole. This is the reason why so many persons are saying that this arrest is just like the voice of Jacob but the hand of Esau. Defamation is not a criminal offense. There is no reason why the Nigerian police force should be involved in a case of defamation. Supreme Court has ruled that defamation is not a criminal offense. As a matter of fact, some states like Lagos and Edo State, they've expunged defamation from their constitution. It means that anyone who defame anyone in Lagos State or Edo State will not be arrested by the Nigerian police, but the person that is being defamed can seek redress in court. And we have seen prominent figures who have been defamed in this country. They did not use the Nigerian police to go and arrest the person that defamed them, but they rather went to seek redress in court. In 2015, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is now the Nigerian president, sued the African Independent Television AIT for airing a documentary he claimed was defamatory. The documentary, titled The Lion of Budolion, alleged that Tinubu had amassed wealth through corrupt means. Rather than using state powers to silence the media house, Tinubu filed a 150 billion libel suit. The case was eventually settled out of court. Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, also opted for legal redress when he felt defamed by the media. In 2018, he filed a 10 billion lawsuit against Premium Times for publishing what he described as false and damaging reports about his business dealings. Former First Lady Patience Jonathan sued the Nation newspaper in 2013 for publishing articles she claimed were defamatory. She sought for 500 million naira in damages. Recently, Femi Falana, who is also a son, said he was defamed by Very Dark Man, but he did not go to use the police to arrest Very Dark Man. He rather seek redress in court. There are more cases out there of prominent people who have used the court to seek redress when they felt defamed. When an alleged phone conversation between Mr. P2B and David Oyedepo was leaked online by Premium Times, P2B said that he was going to sue them in court. Everywhere many Nigerians should condemn Dele Farotimi arrest because it is illegal. Allowing this to go on without any resistance is going to set a wrong precedent in the history of this country. We should understand that what Farotimi is going through now is a reminder of the ongoing battle for the soul of Nigerian judiciary. This is a call for action to all who believe in the rule of law and the principles of justice. We all know that they wanted to silence him, but this has amplified his voice. It has turned his struggle into a symbol of resistance and hope. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.